Hello and welcome again. In 2012, I began making a series of videos for IB, Environmental Systems and Societies. At that time, I worked at Shanghai American School and I completed the ESS course and all of the videos in 2016. Then I moved over to Canadian International School in Bangalore, India, and I moved away from the teaching of ESS for a while. But many students continued to contact me about the course and many teachers. And now, in 2024, the IB is launching yet another new course. And this time around, they have added higher level ESS. Very excited to be a part of it and looking forward to sharing a completely new set of videos with all of you teachers and students out there. But of course, I will be looking to link to my old videos, which are still very much relevant to the current course. So before we move in and take a closer look, I just want to acknowledge my present school, American Community School here in Abu Dhabi, and of course to give a big shout out to all of my students there in class of 2025 over at Canadian International School in Bangalore, India. I'm wishing all of you a good year, a good final year, and of course you should watch out for some of my chemistry videos which will be coming your way very, very soon. But now it's time for us to talk about ESS, the new course which will be examined for the first time in May 2026. And this course, like I said, includes HL. We'll be beginning our series of videos with the foundations of ESS, meaning we'll be looking at perspectives, systems, and sustainability. These concepts will run throughout the course and they will intertwine themselves with every topic that we meet. In addition to that, we have the HL lenses, as they are called, and we'll be looking at environmental law, environmental economics, and environmental ethics. So let's move in and take a closer look at the first assignment, which is dealing with perspective. Content. And topic 1, foundations, and we begin, of course, with perspectives. How do perspectives affect the decisions we make concerning these environmental issues? And here you have all of these points to discuss. So what we can do with this is to take a particular case and look at 4 perspectives that people may have towards that situation. We can take more than one case for that matter. And in teams of 4 or 5 students, where one student is designated as the environmental manager who oversees a town hall meeting, each student in the team, each of the other 4 students are then challenged to present their perspective on a particular scenario. After that activity, students share their recordings of their town hall meeting, other groups look at their recordings, and we realize that perspectives are very much informed by socio-cultural norms, scientific understandings, laws, religion, economic conditions, local and global events, lived experience, among other factors. These particular perspectives could actually be put into certain categories and to have certain names attached to them. Understanding people's perspectives is fundamental to solving environmental issues, to resolving the tensions that may exist between one group and another group. So students should also be carrying out surveys and learning how to design surveys to elicit from people their environmental perspective. And then, of course, we look at all of these worldviews, as they're called. We'll be putting labels on them, and those labels typically include technocentric, anthropocentric, and ecocentric perspectives. Videos on all of these will be shared in links below this one. And then, of course, we come to the timeline of events which led to the global environmental crisis of the 21st century and the late 20th century also. In the video that I made to present this timeline of events, somewhere in the middle of that video, I made the statement, made popular by William Shakespeare a long time ago, all that glitters is not gold. And that is fundamental, really. That saying, that phrase is fundamental to capturing the events of the 20th century, where many great and groundbreaking discoveries to improve human life were made. But it was only until later on, and now here in the 21st century, that we begin to see the consequences. So let's take a look at these two assignments. And here you can see the town hall meeting, where students are put into groups. There are 4 perspectives. The 5th member of the group becomes the environmental manager and runs this meeting. And the issue is leatherback turtles are laying eggs on the beach. They are affected by a number of issues, including the fact that people come to watch them lay their eggs, and it's a grand spectacle, and people take pictures, and hotels open, and lodges, and bed and breakfast, and there's business around the leatherback turtle, the great spectacle of this giant sea turtle as it comes on shore in places like the Caribbean and South Florida and Malaysia and many places around the world. Also included in this perspective section, as I mentioned, is all that glitters is not gold. What were the events of the 20th century where things were discovered, great groundbreaking discoveries happened that led to consequences in the 21st century and towards the end of the century? The consequences which led Time magazine to label the endangered Earth as its individual of the year on the 1st of January 1989. All of these ideas are presented in the video here on the card above and in the link below. I would like you to look at that video and discuss what exactly is meant by all that glitters is not gold. And finally, at the end of that video, the one in the link below this one, I talk about conflicts of the environment or tensions that develop. For example, as I spoke about the tensions that developed at Love Canal, Niagara Falls in the 1970s, when housewife Lois Gibbs realized that she was living and all of her neighbors were living on a toxic waste dump site. Here you had a classic case of our waste repository interacting with our living space and causing a terrible environmental catastrophe. The Love Canal tragedy as it's known. Many issues in environmental management can be contextualized or understood better by thinking of it by looking at it through the lens of the 3 uses that we put to the environment as human beings: living space, waste repository, and supply function. And of course, as our human population expanded and our land and resources did not, it was inevitable that there would be interaction or overlap and tensions which would develop between one use of the environment and another. So as we complete this first section, perspectives, please do take the time to work through this assignment and to look at the links below this video for additional support.